Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you're all keeping well on this drizzly day up here in Dumfries. Right, so we've got I've got Scott and Mark in this afternoon. Just bring them guys in for the minute.
Hi, guys.
Hello, everybody.
A couple of your worms today. So today I am going to be turning this piece of ash, and I'm going to be doing a vase with a bit of hollowing. I'll not hollow the whole thing because it's more about the colouring, and I'm going to be doing string pull. And I've just said I'm going to be doing string pull, and I don't know where the bloody hell my string is. Right. I'll
They not teach you anything in the army, Wayne.
No. Like I said, I've been out this morning. I'm only just in the workshop.
Yeah,
Anyway, right. I'll stick the guys back in the background. They can start going through the chat. Speak amongst yourselves for a minute. Till I have a hunt around.
First in was some bloke called the Blue Light Turner.
Oh, I found it.
Second in was his dad. So then we've got Robbo Robertson, Rob Dolman, Tommy Dunn,
Dr.
Stephen Young, Jay, Nick.
Hi, Jay. Hi, Steve. Hi, Nick.
Hi,
Paul
Nick.
Lockwood.
Hi, Paul.
That's all that's in at the moment. Share it out, guys. See, so it's drizzly up there, Wayne.
Yeah, it is.
It's Scotland. It always rains.
Oh, mate, it's too hot here. I thought
It's either rainy. It's either rainy or windy, or rainy and windy.
I thought I'd go out and finish the framework this morning. I put the chop saw outside where I have it outside the workshop, and I went, nah, it's too hot.
Change the camera.
I'll wait till later. Send some heat north then. I'll tell you what, I'll send the heat north if you just send the cooler weather south. I don't want the rain, but you can have the heat. Daniel Chapman's just joined. Hi, Daniel.
Hi, Dan.
Whippy Woodshed.
Hi, Wibby.
How big is that piece, Wayne?
It is. It measures. I'll put my bloody tape down as well. It's around about 6 inches long, 4 inches square.
Cool.
That extra noise, I think my bearings are about to go in my life centre.
Yeah, I could hear a little bit of a grumbling.
Use my spindle roughing gouge, just get it down to round. Make sure everything's tight.
Cornish Pixies joined.
Hello, Cornish Pixie. She really does like your accent, Wayne.
So, question from Mike, is that cross-cut wood?
No, it's end grain. The grain is running this way along the wood, so it's a spindle blank.
You don't.
Baz is in the house.
Baz is in the house.
Bonjour, mon chéri. Mange tout, mange tout. Cornish Pixie says, what's not to like about a Northeast accent?
Exactly.
Excuse me if I say this wrong, but Pot Geeta Woodturning's in the house.
JP.
Jappy.
Jappy.
Okay. Brian Anderson's just joined. Steve Templeboy's just joined.
Good afternoon, Steve.
Hello, Steve.
I'll just part off the ends just to get them nice and square.
Rob DP's in the house. And Wivy, Woodshed.
Jiggy's Shed, that's the new name. Don't recognise that one. Hi, Jiggy.
No, I don't recognise that one either. Welcome.
Hello, Jiggy. Welcome.
Chris Cox.
Just going to put a tenon on this end.
Wayne, can I ask a question? Which end do you choose to make the tenon from? Is it a preference or is it just habit?
Right, with this particular piece of wood, there is no distinguishing features within the grain, really. It's pretty straight grain. So it doesn't really matter which end I put the tenon on. If there were some particular features and I wanted that to stand out at the top of the vase, I would obviously put the tenon on the other end.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Barry Chitty joined us. Hi, Barry.
Hi, Barry. Right, so what I'm going to do now is, I haven't put a dovetail on this because the chuck that I use, it's the parallel. It doesn't have a dovetail, but what it does have is a lip. So I always put a groove in for the lip
Barry
to clamp
Fisher's in.
into. Hi, Barry.
And something from the shed. Hello, something. Give us your name, unless you want to be called something.
Steve, it's a piece of ash.
Like I say, with these jaws, and I've shown this before, can you see, well, on the bottom, can you see it's actually got a small lip on there? That's because these particular jaws hold the screw chuck, the Axminster screw chuck.
Your camera's gone really blotchy, Wayne.
Yeah, it's hunting for focus.
Okay, that's probably because of the colour of the wood.
It's actually, the picture quality is still quite good on YouTube, but on our StreamYard screens, it's a bit... There you go. That's
Is that better?
Yeah, that's better.
I haven't done. I didn't do anything.
It's because you're not moving.
So Jiggy is saying his channel's fairly new, so people go and check him out. He's posted in the groups before, but his name's John Hicks.
Hello, John.
Good Term Blair's just joined us.
Hi, Blair.
Tony Rice, the Wood Wizard, has just joined.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Nick's just said something from the shed is Keith.
Mike, Midnight Joker, says it focuses better on something that's burnt.
This piece is not getting burnt.
It is getting coloured, but it's not getting burnt.
Is that why you got the P45 t-shirt on, Wayne?
Yeah. Now, I do two basic shapes when I'm doing vases. I either do the bottom narrow, widening out and then closing back in again, or I do exactly the same shape but the other way around. So the bottom is wide and then closes down towards the top. For this particular one, it's going to be wider at the top than it is at the bottom, because that lends itself better to having the string pull.
I don't know why YouTube decided to hide that one. So, Herb Hooper's just joined.
Hi, Herb.
Phil Skoltop. Robocop. Steve Templeboy saying he thinks it was pixelated and a slight lag, so probably the internet rather than the camera, but it's not too bad.
Okay, thanks, Steve.
That's something I need to practice more at, getting that organic curve. So everybody in the chat, tell us what you've been making this week then.
Colin Roberts has just joined. Sorry he's late, but he's not late. There's no late in the land of YouTube.
I think, to tell you the truth, I think Colin's multitasking, because I think he's doing the Zoom thing at the moment as well.
See, and they say men can't multitask.
I can multitask, I can breathe and walk both at the same time.
I can drink beer and watch football.
Yeah.
Or rugby.
I can eat soup and watch YouTube. I realised this morning I haven't actually watched proper television for about 2 weeks. Good advice, Paul. All up with time. If you want to understand curves better, sphere manually, it puts a different aspect on curves in vases and bowls. Thank you for that.
Steve Young has been making a vacuum chuck.
Oh, nice.
And a pear from Capur. I've never heard of that.
A pear from what?
Capur.
Oh, all right, okay.
Okay. Mike's been doing a stand for a sharpener with a cantilever toolbox. Tommy Dunn's been doing sported beach bowl. Steve Sam, have you seen the comment from Steve, Mark?
Yes, I was just going to say thank you for that, Steve.
Nick's saying he's in the workshop so he can vacuum and sand at the same time whilst watching YouTube.
That's man-tasking, that is.
Yeah.
Dr. Bob has made 2 urns for COVID victims. Well done, Dr. Bob.
Oh, well done, Bob.
Thank you for what you're doing.
Barry Fisher's made a UFO box out of oak.
Oh, very nice.
Robbo's making veranda posts.
I'm glad you said that, Mark. I was trying to work out what that word was. Something from the shed said he's been turning tons of pens. They're flying out.
Good.
Good man.
Mike, what's your Red Bull pen you doing?
Because Red Bull gives you wings.
I know. I've had to cut down on the amount I was drinking.
I can't touch it at all now. I used to live on the stuff when I worked nights. Robert Dolman's gluing up a yarn bowl with carved feet. That sounds really nice.
Nice.
I like my yarn bowls. They're one of my most popular things.
Glenn the Grit has just joined us.
Hi, Glenn.
Afternoon, Glenn. Thank you for my parcel today. Absolutely no idea what I'm going to do with it. Because it's huge.
Nick was also going to add, whilst listening to a Brummie, but he'd have to hide from Stace. Guys, I'm just going to nip out for a minute. I need to shoot to the little boy's room.
Okay.
No problem.
So that was 80 grit I started with there. Now I'm going on to 120.
Yeah, I really do like that shape that you do there, Wayne.
Sorry about that.
Okay.
Old age.
Well, as they say, it doesn't come itself.
I like the shape of that one.
Yeah, I just said that. It's really nice, isn't it?
Mm. I did something similar, but I used to leave a lip on the top. So it'd like come around and then it'd have a lip, so it looked like a Greek urn, but looks much better without.
What's the Greek urn?
About $5 a week.
I'll just feed them. You finish them off.
Right, so that's sanded up to 400. It's empty. There we go. I'm just going to put some sand and sealer on.
So Mike says Greek urns are old hat.
It's the joke that just keeps on giving, though.
Yeah. I started doing them because Ed Oliver come to club and did one. And then he spent ages pyro texturing it. It made like the spring out the middle of a peg. And then sprayed it gold and then added verdigris wax to it, and it looked really cool. And I thought, I quite like that. So I did a few, but the pyro takes forever.
Red Eye Dave and Rubber Dub have joined. Afternoon, guys.
Yeah. Oh, hang on.
There's a book for you. Shapes for wood turners. There's loads and loads of different shapes in here. All set out. for boxes and all different types of things, vases, candlesticks, bowls, everything.
What was the title again, Wayne?
It's Shapes for Woodturners. Have you got a pen?
Yes.
Right, let's see if I can find it. Now, this is a very old book. This came out in 92, this did. So I don't know if it'll still be in print. But the ISBN number is 07134
Yep.
70313.
I'll just see if I can find it on Amazon. And can I post the link in your chat?
Another good one is by a guy called John Hunnex. This one came out in what? He actually signed this one. This came out in '93, and the ISBN number for this one is 094 6819 459. And rather than drawings in this one, it's all photographs.
That's cool. Dale
The
lent me
shapes-
one the other week called Woodturning Patterns. And I've just brought that. That's really cool.
So that's Woodturning, a source book of shapes.
Are you looking at getting some books then, Mark?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll send you the link because I brought 3 last week. One by Mark Baker, and then one that's Weekend Woodturning Projects. It's got some fun stuff in there. So there's like a yo-yo and a whistle and.
Scott,
Just
you
saying.
might have to approve that link because I'm not a moderator.
Okay, I haven't got it. Mark, send it to me in Messenger, and then I'll add it in, mate.
Okay.
Or we'll get Wayne to add you a spanner.
Give us a second.
You need to comment in the chat, Mark.
Okay.
Right, so that's just been knocked back with a piece of orange Scotch Brite, which has got the equivalent grit of around about 1,000, 1,200. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll just do a bit of hollowing first before I do the colouring. That would be the best thing to do. Because like I say, I'm not going to hollow it all out. I'll actually leave this sitting on the tenon so I can finish it some other time. Because it's more about the colouring.
Steve said he printed some pictures from various form shapes from the interweb when he was learning, and then cut them out and laminated them.
That's a good idea.
Steve.
Doug Moore from Pole Barn's in,
Hiya, Doug.
and David McLernan's in.
Hiya,
Hi,
David.
fingers. Right,
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Right, turn this down to around about 500. Right, that's at about 450. That is just to do the drilling.
Barry Fisher saying, have you tried Pinterest?
Pinterest.
Yeah, Pinterest.
Yeah, that's a good place to find shapes.
So there's the link for the Shapes for Woodturners book. Did we find the other one, Mark, or are we not yet?
No, I couldn't look because I was busy doing that one.
Okay.
Let me go back.
use a different drill. That one needs a sharpen.
How do you sharpen your forcing the bits, Wayne?
Diamond card.
Okay.
I've sent you the second one, Scott.
Okay, mate. Let's. Oh, that's a bargain, that one, isn't it?
These are brilliant drills, these are. These are cheapest chips from Lidl's. That's them. And if you look at the profile on them, you can actually drill around corners with this drill.
That's good. I didn't think of that. So I've got one of them from when I was sparkying, but I think it's only about 20 mil, if that.
These come in a set of 4, and they go from. I lost the box.
And there's the link to the other James Barry's sharpening video. Cheers, Glenn. I'll have a look at that.
I'll tell you somebody else, Scott. Larry, the wood whirler. He did a video on sharpening Forstner bits with a diamond card.
I normally just blunt them and then just throw them in the bin and go and buy a new one. But if I can learn to sharpen.
It only takes a couple of strokes with a diamond card on the flat edge, just to reintroduce the burr in the edge.
Okay. So I can't see any turning getting done for the next week or so, but. Oh no, Sunday night. When I do a live, I'll do some.
Yeah, we might as well tell people the change of running order.
Yeah. So do you want to do?
Right.
Yeah, I'll do it. So I'm now doing Wednesday evening live after Pete from Twisted Trees does his premiere. Scott, you're going to do
My normal Thursday night.
your
And I'm
normal
also
Thursday.
Yeah, I'm also going to cover Dale this Sunday at 6. I've just cleared that with Dale.
So your lunchtime live on Saturday is not happening?
No.
Right.
I need to earn some pennies and some polo works come up, so I've got to take it.
Fair enough. Life comes first, mate.
Well, we didn't expect to have all this added expensive building work to be done on the back of the house, but...
You've got to have somewhere to put the washing machine.
Mate, if you store it at the moment, it's scary. Because one of the eldest has been away for a week. So she's due back late tonight. So obviously we want to be able to use the washing machine tomorrow. Because, you know, being 21 years old, they ain't going to done any of their washing. It'll be down to mum.
Chris Cox is saying that apparently Emma the Tiny Turner is back on tomorrow night.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
So that will be, she normally goes live about 6, doesn't she, and starts turning about 6:30?
It starts turning at 6:30, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. I've shown this before, but I'll show it again. You can use a spindle gouge for hollowing if you want. Basically what you're doing is using the spindle gouge as a scraper. Try and get it on as close to center height as you can, so the tool is horizontal. And what you do is, if you've got I've got the flute upside down there, so the flute is basically at 6 o'clock, and if you the bevel on the non-cutting side, you can actually touch the wood, and obviously nothing's going to happen because there's nothing cutting there. And then start turning it round. And that is just starting to cut there. So I've got the cutting edge of the spindle gouge sitting at around about between 7 and 8 o'clock.
That's what I was doing last night, wasn't it, Wayne?
Yeah. Now, this gouge needs a quick sharpen. Just bear with me.
Andy Heel from AH Bespoke is live tomorrow at 6 as well, folks. Fantastic, talented carver. Nice to see some different content on YouTube as well from the makers community.
And Monday night, Steve's on, Steve Trudell. I believe I'm right in saying that, isn't it, Steve?
So Elf Key, sorry, I didn't see John chat. He's just shared winning designs for Woodturning 1987 by Alan and Jill Bridgewater.
Fred Taylor's just joined.
Hi, Fred.
Now, the other thing with hollowing is as well, whenever people start talking about hollowing tools, they tend to talk about swan neck hollowing tools. That sort of shape. Okay, that's the swan neck hollowing tool. You only need a swan neck hollowing tool for doing around the shoulder. And sometimes you don't even need a swan neck hollowing tool. If I use my straight hollowing tool, this is the small Simon Hope 6mm hollowing tool. I can actually go straight in like that. And because of the size of the hole I've got in the top of the bars, I can get all the way around the wall without having to use the swan neck. So a lot of the time, depending on the size of the opening you're working with, you don't really need to have a swan neck.
Okay, so Steve Ash just put a question in the chat for Glyn, but we'll be able to answer this silly question. There's no silly question, Steve, but should he use Yorkshire grip before or after sanding sealer? Always sanding sealer first, and then apply Yorkshire grit. Steve Templeboy is going, yes, Wayne, he's live on Monday. He's going to attempt to make a putter pen.
Pewter, I think that's supposed to be.
Okay, pewter. Adrian just joined. Hi, Wayne. Sorry for the name. That's Mark, the gentleman woodturner.
We've also got Nick live on Saturday night as well at 8 o'clock.
Yeah. Larry's saying, just for the record, Jamie Oliver's bacon lettuce starter sandwich from the Shell garage is shocking. It's got as much flavour as a flip-flop. Damo's just joined.
Hi, Damo.
Good day, Damo.
Yeah, Chris said he was in a Zoom meeting with Emma on Tuesday, and he's sure that she said she'd be back.
Right, so that's using the small hollower. Now, with the small hollower, with the Simon Hope small hollower, you can only go so far in before you start getting a lot of vibration. So at that point, I'd probably change to the larger hollower from Simon Hope. This has still got a 6mm cutter on, and the cutter is set at 45 degrees, so you get a good cutting action rather than a scraping action. You can also use, if you like, a bowl gouge, and you use the bowl gouge in the same way as you use the spindle gouge. like a scraper. And you, when you're cutting, you're coming back towards yourself.
Is it better to use a bowl gouge because it's got a thicker
Yeah,
shaft on it?
yes, it's got a deeper flute. Not necessarily because this is a 3/8 bull gouge that I'm using. It was a 1/2 inch spindle gouge that I was using, but you can get quite deep with those. You can use the likes of ordinary high-speed steel scrapers. You don't have to use carbides. I'm just going. I think that's what time we on. 25-2. I'm just going to tidy up this edge. I've got a bit of tear out there, which won't take long to get rid of, and then we'll get some colouring done. Because
We've
this
got
is more
53 in the chat watching, Wayne.
excellent. Thanks, guys.
Cool. I haven't got YouTube open, Mark. I've only got the chat popped out, so I'll let you keep an eye on that.
I've got them both. I always have both running.
Damo, no, it is myself, Scott, and Mark, the gentleman woodturner.
Hello.
I
may sound slightly different today than I normally do because I've invested in
whiskey.
Yeah, I've had more whiskey. I've invested in a better headset with a microphone right next to my mouth, so just to try and help everybody understand me better.
I'm sure everyone in the chat.
Accent.
Yeah,
Mark,
I'm sure.
You're sober, Mark. Nobody's going to understand you.
Yeah, my broad Devon accent comes through as well.
Yeah. A Devon accent, yeah, you live in Cornwall.
Well, I was born in Devon. I was born in Barnstable. I just happened to have the misfortune of living in Cornwall.
All right. Colin Roberts is saying that the new mic's working great, Mark.
Thank you, Colin.
Right. Get these out the way.
So you a cream then jam or jam then cream, Mark?
Cream first, jam on top. Anything else is wrong.
Nah, you're wrong there. All you need is lashings of butter. That's all you need.
See, we gave Cornwall the pasty. We said, yeah, you can have the pasty. You can do what you like with that. We'll have the cream teas and we'll do them right. And they just do them wrong. Why on earth would you put jam first and then dollop cream on the top? It just doesn't make any sense.
Because it's easier to spread the jam, mate.
Doesn't make any sense to me anyway. It should still be butter.
Glyn's saying he slices his butter for his scones.
Yeah, straight out the freezer, Glyn.
Thank you, Rubber Dub.
Steve Ash is saying we're all wrong. It should be bacon, bacon, and more bacon. Look, I've started something here, and I look jam then cream.
Right, I forgot to clear.
Oh, Cornish Pixie has gone jam first, then cream.
I knew that would get a reaction. She's Cornish, so you know, even though she's family, I'll let her be wrong.
Yeah.
I'm older and wiser, Lee.
Older? I don't know about the wiser.
I didn't clear the dust out of the inside of it properly, so I'm probably going to have to redo it. Just redo the top. I've got a bit of dust around here, but not to worry. That'll clear up.
So let's just clear something up for our friends that are in the chat that are not in the UK. That are getting confused. So we're talking about cream teas and scones. There's a debate. So if you're in Devon, you do your cream first and then put the jam on top. If you're in Cornwall, you put your jam first and then the cream on top.
Which is wrong.
It's a bit of a chuckle. It causes a bit of a debate.
It's a long-running battle. It's been going on for centuries.
Yeah. So.
And for those of you in America, a scone, if you think of like biscuits that you have with biscuits and gravy, a scone is similar to that, but with raisins or sultanas in it.
Or they can be plain, or they can be cheese, or they can be treacle.
So we've got a question, Wayne, from Steve. Do you leave your entry diameter a little smaller than the finished size when hollowing in case of slight damage from the tool?
Yes, I do, Steve. Until I get it to this stage, what I tend to do, the size of the opening I tend to do, means that I can use my O'Donnell jaws on my other chuck. So I can use my O'Donnell jaws and they will fit into there. I'll just show you that.
So Robbo Robertson is saying if you're in Australia, it's jam and then cream.
Colonialists.
So when I'm doing the string pull on the Steve, what I'll do, I'll take it out of these jaws. I'll put the other chuck on, and then I can reverse the vase round and hold it between centers, because the string pull is going to be starting from the top of the vase and going down towards the bottom. It's just that I'm with me being right-handed, I can't actually do that very well. So I like to be able to reverse the piece so I can do that. So that's just what I'm going to do now.
Is that right-handed or cack-handed one?
Right-handed.
So if you had hollowed that, would you do your string pull out of the... Would you normally cut that off and then do your string pull, or would you always do your string pull before you cut it off?
No. I always do the string pull first.
Okay.
See, when you use these jaws, the wood gets that tight. It locks on that tight that you sometimes got to give it a bit of a nudge to get it off.
Got to persuade it.
Where's my stickies?
There it is.
Robbo's replied to you, Mark. Yes, and he's proud of it.
Yep. I'm only pulling his leg. I'm sure you are. We're all colonialists, really. None of us ever originated from anywhere.
And this way as well, by doing it this way, once I've got the string pull done, and it's actually sitting nicely between centers, it means I can finish the bottom off properly.
I don't know why I'm so adamant about cream teas and the way they should go. I can't eat them anymore anyway, so it doesn't matter.
We'll show you how to eat them right when you come up next weekend, mate.
Yeah, I'm sure you will. Thank you.
Yeah, a bit of jam and then a bit of cream.
You could always put cream, then jam, then cream, then scone. Have it as a sandwich. Yeah, that gets around it.
And then be sick afterwards.
Right. What I'll do, just so it doesn't interfere. What I'll do, just so it doesn't interfere with the string pull, I'll take this excess off.
Okay. Rob Loves put a question in the chat. Can you spray it black and then come back to it days later to do the string pull?
I'm back.
Do you want to switch to the other camera, Wayne? That one's playing up, mate.
Mr.
Right, what's happening?
Rubens just joined the chat.
Looks like
Can you hear
Scott
us, Wayne?
And no, they've gone.
Oh, we're still here.
We're still here, Wayne. We can hear you.
Switch cameras, Wayne, if you can.
All right, everything froze up there on my end.
Yeah, I think it might be your internet, mate. Rob, I would say yes, you can spray it, leave it, and then come back and do the corporal.
Right. Oh yeah, you can, but this is perfectly dry now for doing the string pull on.
So the ebonite lacquer dries pretty quick, doesn't it?
I'll just quickly get rid of.
Good afternoon,
That's
Ruben.
just so it doesn't interfere. Hi, Ruben. Bloody wood shooters in my paint pot now.
Steve Ash has said, Robert Love, as long as you clean any dust off, you should be good to go.
All right, just pop some paint into the pots. Again, I'm using my three favourite colours when it comes to the Joe Sonia paints, which is violet, green and gold.
Wayne, would you like Scott to add the link for the Joe Sonia site?
I'm on it. So there's the link, guys, for Joe Sonia's UK shop. Again, as you probably heard us say several times, if you do buy anything, then if you can just go in the contact us section on there and just let them know that you've seen Wayne use them.
I'm just going to pop a little touch of flow medium in there as well.
Chisky's joined, says that looks like an eggplant on the lathe.
You'd be surprised at how many people say that.
So, I'm going to sound totally thick here. Is an eggplant the same as what we'd call an aubergine?
Yes.
Okay.
That's exactly what it is.
Told you I sound thick.
They call them eggplants in America.
Okay.
Eggplant parmesan is a lovely dish.
Cool. Can you imagine how big your fried egg would be if you had an egg that size?
I've got a couple of guests just arrived.
Ostrich egg.
Okay, Mark.
Oh, it's Cornish Pixie and her son.
Ah.
All right.
So I'm just going to mute myself for a little bit, okay, guys?
All right, mate.
Yeah, okay.
I'm still here, watching and listening.
So, Steve Asher saying zucchini is a courgette. Australia calls it the eggplant as well.
Right, so all I'm doing at the moment, I'm just getting 3 bits of wool. I tend to use wool when I do this. You can use jewellery chain on bigger pieces, on platters and wall hangings. You can use bigger types of chain. It all works. Chains actually give a very nice effect. So what I've got my wee pot of paint, and all I'm going to do is put the wool into it, leaving some hanging out. I'm going to get the wool covered in paint and probably get my fingers covered in paint as well. And then with my mixer, I'm just going to stir that round, stir that round so all of the string gets covered in paint. And then what you do is, as you're bringing it out, wipe it against the side of the pot as you're pulling it out, just to take any really excess paint off. And here comes the fun part. So you just place this onto the piece, and you just...
You got a super chat from Steve of €5. Thanks for the live, Wayne. He's got to head off, but he'll watch back later.
Well, thanks very much, mate. Much appreciated. So as you can see, all I've done there is laid the wool in a crossover type of pattern, and I'm just going to take it and just... I'll stick my finger down here just so it comes where I want it to, and you just pull down like this. And there you are. So that's that one.
That's cool.
Get a piece of cloth, and you can just wipe off any excess paint. Like I say, I'll be finishing this later, so a lot of this will disappear anyway. I'm using three colours, so you want them sort of equidistant if you can.
Okay.
We'll have that one.
Midnight Joker's off. He's working on his fascias and his guttering, but he's going to stay listening to us.
Cheers, Mike.
Paul Lockwood saying wool works far better as it bends nicely and gently. Proper string can give some interesting effects.
It can, especially... I think you used... it wasn't a smooth string that you used, was it, Paul? I think it was one of those... like a hairy type string, if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Jiggy, so Wayne is using Joe Sonia's iridescent paints.
I am, yes.
Yeah, he's got a fidgety 4-year-old, so he missed what paint you're using.
Yeah, it's the Joe Sonia's iridescent that I'm using.
There is a link in the chat for Joe Sonia's UK shop.
If you do go and buy some Joe Sonia's paints after watching this, could you go into the contact area of Joe Sonia UK and just let Lynn know that you're buying them because you saw me doing this?
Rubber Dub saying, oh, sorry, not Rubber Dub. Ruben is saying, if you mess it up, could you wipe it off, or would you have to sand it off and start over again?
No, if it's still wet, Ruben, you can just get a damp cloth and just wipe it all off. It is a water-based paint, and it will wipe off. The only thing that happens, though, when you're wiping it off, especially on something like this, which is ash, what will happen is that the all the colour will actually go into the soft grain of the wood. So it does actually do that. It goes into the soft grain of the wood, but in certain cases, that can actually add to the effect. So that's the green one. And then we'll finish off with the gold. Actually,
sorry, Dr. Bob. Dr. Bob saying an ideal recommendation. And when posting for sites for licensed products, could we post the North America, US, Canada, and Australia links? You seem to forget. Let me have a look, see if I can find Joe Sonia.
Yeah,
because they are a US company, aren't they?
Yeah, it's joesonia.com. I think you'll find is the US one.
Let me just have a look.
Right, and we'll just pop this one on here.
Jackknife has give you a super chat. This is an amazing technique. He's been watching your past live streams. This is my first one I was able to attend.
Oh, thank you, Jack.
Hi, Jack. Welcome. He says the paints are available on Amazon in the US.
Right, so there you have it, guys. I will let that dry naturally. We're coming up to an hour. My lunchtime lives, I usually keep them to around about an hour because it's I know people have still got things to do, whether they've got to get to bed if they're in Australia or finish the breakfast and get to work if they're in the States. So what I'll do, I'll just take this out of the chuck and I'll change the camera back onto the main camera. And
what's the sort of drying time on that one?
Oh, I mean, these dry fairly quick. If I take this in the house, probably touch dry in a couple of hours. If I use the hot air gun, touch dry in a couple of minutes. But I'll just leave this one to sit because I will be coming back to this one to get it finished off. I'm just having to sit down. I'll just go on to the main camera. Oh my life, I should have left it on the other one. So, there it is, guys.
Right, I'm back. Sorry about that.
Dale's give you a super chat for a wee brush for the sawdust on the floor.
That's you want to see this. You can only see this side of the lathe, Dale. You want to see that side of the lathe.
Yeah. You should see mine as well.
No, Basher, yours is absolutely lick clean compared to mine. There it is.
Hello, Dale.
Colin's asking, will you spray it with varnish? It'll be finished off with lacquer. I use a variety of different lacquers. Use crystal coat. That's a paint.
Keith saying great as usual. Mike Blank saying nice Wayne.
That's Rust-Oleum crystal clear.
Jay Wooden Thing AU says it looks very nice, Wayne.
Oh, cheers, Jay. And that is Chestnut's acrylic gloss lacquer. There's a whole variety of lacquers you can use. You don't have to buy ones that are sold by Woodturning suppliers. You can use a lot of different car stuff. Thanks, Colin.
Nope, Dale's back to work.
All right.
See you later, Dale.
Cheers, Dale.
Take it easy, bud.
Have fun, girls.
So what I'll do, I'll take this now. Well, you actually, if you got notification, you saw the string pull vase that I put on there, and people have seen me do string pull vases before. I'll not get this one finished for a couple of few days. I've got a very busy weekend unloading bloody gravel. Anyway,
Paul saying if you're in the UK, you can get very cheap sprays from Sprayster.com.
Yep.
Or you've also got Graph City.
Right. Brian's asking, very nice, Ian. Just curious, what is a P45? What a P45 is, Brian? It's a piece of it's a document you get from an employer when you've been sacked or when you leave their employment. You get a P45 to give to your next employer. That's what a P45 is. This one refers to Yorkshire Grit. Glyn and I know each other very well. And whenever I'm doing colouring on something, I don't use Yorkshire grit. I do demonstrate Yorkshire grit at various shows and things, but when I'm doing colouring, I don't use Yorkshire grit. So every time I do colouring, I get the sack from Glyn from Yorkshire grit. So JP, one of my mates, went on to Teespring and designed this T-shirt for me.
Chisky said he's going to give that a go decorating an eggplant.
Now,
Jiggy's-
the other thing about sorry for interrupting there, Scott.
That's right.
The other thing about this technique, this is not something that I should say I'm not the first to do this. I've said this before. I'll watch a hell of a lot of art channels on YouTube, and that's where I get my ideas from. And I came across the string pull effect, and people have been doing string pull for years. The way they tend to do it on the art channels is that they'll do it on it'll be done on a canvas, and usually they put a base color down, which they leave wet, and then they do the string pull over the wet base color. And I thought, well, that'll not really work on wood turning. So I just came up with the idea of using spray paint and using the string pull over the top of the spray paint. And then I thought about using the Joe Sonias, because the Joe Sonias paints give an absolutely brilliant effect when they're used doing something like string pull. I've also done feathers. It's a slightly different technique, but I've done feathers doing string pull. If you go onto my Facebook page, it is public, so you should be able to access my photos, and you can look back through there. And I'm sure I've got a couple of photos in there of string pull feathers. Right, guys, go on. Sorry, Scott.
Yeah, Jiggy's saying, nice job, Wayne. Looks great. He's going to have to say goodbye as he's got to get on with other jobs around the house.
Okay.
And Adrian's saying, off back to work. He's got 1 hour before he finishes for the summer holidays.
Oh, very good.
Nice.
Yeah, Paul's saying feathers are a lot harder to get right. They're good for demos. Doing the feathers, everybody is well impressed when you do feathers on a demo.
Yeah.
Right, that's it. Thanks everybody for coming in. It's much appreciated. I hope you enjoyed the show. I will be back on Monday lunchtime. I am not going to be here next Wednesday because I'm going on a road trip on Thursday. So on Wednesday evening, we've got Pete from Twisted Trees, who is doing a premiere at 8 o'clock. He said it's going to last about 30 minutes. And then following on from that, Mark the Gentleman Woodturner, he's going to do a live after Pete's premiere. I'll not be doing a live next Friday because I'm away all weekend. I'll probably not be doing a live the following Monday either because I don't think I'll be home by then. But keep an eye out. If you know JP Woodwork, keep an eye out for him popping up and doing a live. I am going to be spending some time in his workshop. So we are going to be doing stuff. So he may well do a pop-up live sometime next weekend. Probably it'll probably be the Sunday or the Monday that we'll be doing stuff.
Cool. Great demo today, Wayne.
I'm going to stop the show now. Like I said, just to reiterate, thanks very much for coming in. I really enjoy doing these, and I will be carrying on after lockdown. I'm not too sure about the lunchtime ones. Depends on how many people still want to pop in for a quick hour at lunchtime. But certainly me Wednesday evening ones I'll be carrying on with. So, bye for now.
See you
Bye then, everybody.
Hit the bloody button.